going on, guys? The reason that I'm an entrepreneur and probably most of my success, besides my my parents, the way they raised me, and then my wife and my family, is because of Robert Kiyosaki. Reading his book, I had a lot of learning issues and challenges growing up, and honestly, it might be the very first book that I actually read cover to cover was when I graduated high school, or I was a senior in high school and might not have graduated yet. My parents had the book, which was Rich Dad Poor Dad, and just like countless other people, the book just flipped my world around. So I've been following him ever since that point, and on one of his recent podcasts towards the end of 2018, if you go to richdad.com, I think even Rich Dad Radio, he's got a podcast, and I like listening to it. But basically, he talks about he had someone call in and ask, like, with real estate being so high, do you recommend getting into it? He talks about that he's selling off a lot of his like lesser performing assets, and then it's like, so what do you do? Are you buying more real estate at a higher price or what? And the guy Robert Kiyosaki said, well, that's a good question. He said, right now, real estate's so overpriced that you should be selling it and investing in businesses. So I thought that was pretty cool and interesting, and that's like current, not like old, like Rich Dad Poor Dad is, even though that information is obviously timeless. But so that got me kind of fired up, because right now in my business, I'm just going to toot my own horn and just say, me and my business partners, people that I work with, my father-in-law, my good close friends, we're really just cleaning up in trucking right now. And we always talk about, do we want to invest in real estate? And I mean, my father-in-law has quite a bit of real estate, but he's not going to invest in any more. But we want to buy a building, and for our trucks and maintenance and all that stuff at some point. But just like, keeping our money working for us. And then when he said that, it was like, you know what, take advantage of what's going on right now and just build our business. So I got that straight from Robert Kiyosaki. Thought it was a great tidbit. And then one of the other things that I learned a while ago that's not one of the main keys of, what he talks about is, he was saying that people, like contractors, will come up to him at an event and say, like, hey, like, I'm going to build a $5 million project and this and that. And they're skilled at contracting, but they're not skilled. They're trying to do too much at once. They don't want to start on small deals and work their way up. They just want to go to the big deals. And what he says is if you're, what I like to call it is stay in your lane. So basically, if you're good at fixing up houses and you're handy, or you've got a crew, it's you, by staying in your lane, why wouldn't you just start investing in residential houses? Look for houses that have an issue. Like, something that I know how to do is I know how to waterproof a basement, and I have access to excavators. I could dig up the back of a house. So, like, if I was going to invest in real estate, I should be looking for houses that nobody wants because there's water damage. They can't refinish the basement because it's got issues, and it always had. I should come in, I should buy that house, I should excavate the backyard, put in drain tile, and redo the basement, because it's something that I can do, and it's an added value that not a lot of other people can do. So he's saying, as a contractor, what you have a handyman that you can have do the work when something needs to be done. You kind of already have your business built in. So I'm trying to think, like, what am I good at? What do I know? And I I don't know a lot about a lot of stuff. The stuff that I know a lot about, I don't necessarily want to do. But what I have come to conclusions with is, right now, I'm looking at my trucking business from a standpoint of real estate. And I always have. Sorry, I got a phone call. So I always look at my business. So I kind of have always ran my trucking company from kind of like on the real estate side. So right now I have 5, it's crazy to even say this, but I have 5 semi trucks, and I have, owner operators that run my authority. I have guys that have their own authority, and then I just broker work out to them. I'm not a true broker, and I don't even know if this is illegal or not, but I'm just telling you that I do this. So I get work, and I come from the contractor background of lawn care, plowing, snow removal, stuff like that. And we don't call it brokering out work, we call it subcontracting. So that's what I do, is I subcontract work out. And at some point I'll probably get my brokerage license and stuff like that. But so I only have 5 trucks, which is a lot to me, I feel like. But I have I think I have like 11 trailers right now. So I have 2 dry vans that I rent out, and I get $800 a month per dry van. That's $1,600 a month in cash flow, and I use it as like real estate. Now the difference is that the real estate over time appreciates, and these trailers over time are going to depreciate, but they're still amortized. Amortization is when you're paying off your loan and you're having somebody else pay it off for you. And I mean, you don't even have to get a loan on dry vans, depending on how you want to do things. So there's lots of opportunities in trucking to use Robert Kiyosaki's philosophies without even doing real estate. All it is it's getting your money to work for you in different ways. And put it this way, you guys go and work for a broker, or you sign on with a carrier, and I have people that sign on with me too. I feel like the carriers, myself, I'm adding value, and until they can get to the point where I am, that's what you do. Because when I started out, I pulled somebody else's trailer and I worked my way up because I knew that's what I wanted to do. But when I first started, I couldn't afford to buy a trailer, but I live modestly, my wife and me and our kids, and you just work your way up. And once you get going, it gets a lot easier. But so I guess that's what Robert Kiyosaki taught me about trucking, and it's pretty exciting stuff. So if you guys have any questions, just let me know. Thanks.